What
the
fuck is going on, guys? I'm Ryan.
And I'm Kyle.
And this is the WTF Podcast, where we pretty much talk about anything we want.
That's right.
How are you doing, Kyle?
Doing alright, doing pretty good. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing, pretty decent. You know, I just, watched a new season of a show that's been on Netflix, Tires.
Oh, yeah.
I already saw season 1. It's been a while since another season. It just dropped yesterday, I believe.
Did it?
June 6th for season 2 of Tires. I'm on episode 5. It's pretty funny so far. There's 12 episodes, unlike the first season where it's 6 episodes.
Wow.
20 minutes each.
Yeah, I gotta watch that. You told me about this like many weeks ago, but I should probably watch that at some point. But yeah, that sounds pretty nice.
You watching any new shows?
Well, this show that you actually recommended to me called From.
Yes.
I kind of stopped watching it, but I gotta get back into it. I'm on season 3.
Season 3. Yes. Yeah. From, I like that show. It's a pretty good show. I like that one.
What is it? It's on like MGM or whatever.
It's MGM. Yeah. It's on. I watched it on Amazon, which has like the MGM subscription thing,
which I don't have, but I was still able to. I still found a way to watch it, but,
which is good. That's always good.
I still gotta get back into that. But should we get started?
We'll get started. My first topic I want to talk about is the pyramids. The Egyptian pyramids. Yes. Let's talk about the mysterious things about them. Well, the first thing is they were made around 4,500 to 4,600,000 years ago.
Yeah. And,
there were mummified people in them, just for the kings or whatever of that way. But I want to talk about the mysteries behind them, like such. Like, people speculate the pyramids are much longer than they actually appear.
Yeah, you told me about this, actually.
Yes.
But now we're going to actually talk about this even more. So.
I have a picture up here so you guys can't see, but you can look up for yourselves. Pyramids, it looks like there's a whole pillar in the ground.
It almost kind of looks like the friggin' in Washington, D.C., the oh my god.
Oh, the Washington Monument? Washington Monument, yes.
But a very big one.
But it's so deep under. It's just a speculation. Obviously, I don't know if it's true or not. It's just a conspiracy. But yeah, no, it looks like that's another mystery that it's just super long pillars on the ground from the we're just seeing the speculation is we're seeing the tips of the pyramid, but the whole thing is a whole like monument down, so a whole pillar down, and it looks.
Again, it kind of looks like the Washington Monument, but just a very, very bigger, like more gigantic version of it.
No,
which I didn't really think of, to be honest. Like I remember in my, I think history class in like middle school. I think it was like 7th grade.
Yes.
With our favorite, teacher in that class. But we're not gonna mention his name. But I think I remember watching like a video in his class, and like it was like a documentary, and they were like building. When they were building the pyramids, it showed them like how they were like building them, and like they were building like from like the ground up, and like they were building like a big square, and then they kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller until eventually you got to the top. But I mean,
how do you think they like built the pyramids? Or do you think that was like aliens or something?
Well, I think for me, like for the longest time, like I said, they built it from the ground up, but that I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I personally don't really know who to believe anymore because, like you said, like I mean, aliens. I don't know about aliens building them, but like I can sort of kind of believe like that. Like it's a big like pillar, like just underground. It's like square, like it's square, whereas in the top it's like a more like triangular like shape.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it kind of looks like the Washington Monument, but
I feel like I feel like they made these blocks. Well, obviously they're blocks, but I wonder how they like carried them over to build them. They're big, huge, like tons.
It probably took like a fucking shit
years. It must have taken years.
Well, to like pull like the blocks, it took like I think it took like a whole bunch of fucking people to just pull them like and to like.
How do you think per person? How many people do you think it took to pull one block?
I don't know, like how many? I don't know, like that.
I feel like
at least 50.
I was gonna say 20, 15.
Yeah.
They'll just chug that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I feel like how do you think they elevated it? Like, how do you think they got from the next level? Like, they brought it up.
Well, I feel like it's all like pulling based. Like they might have had like some pulleys, like pulley machines or whatever. But
it was also exact cuts too. How do you think they did precise cuts back then? That was thousands of years ago. We do precise cuts now. How did they do it then?
I think just all by hand. I mean, I would argue like Egyptians compared to us, like right now, humans right now, compared like us to them, they were. I mean, I feel like they were a lot more. I kind of hate to say this, but I feel like they were a lot more hardworking than than we are right now.
They were dedicated. Like they had something to believe in.
Super dedicated.
Oh yeah, they had full on belief in religion. Well, we still do now, but I think they only had like a simple minded task. Yeah. That's what they were doing, and they were worshiping their
like
god,
pharaohs,
the Egyptian god, the pharaohs. Yeah, they made the pharaohs. Like the little, how do you sculpt that out? That's so crazy. That must have taken so long.
Probably years.
Oh, so many years.
And you know what's funny? Like, I feel like it didn't really take them that long to build all those things. Whereas, like I said, like right now, it takes us like a long ass time. Like where me and you live, Ryan. Like they, like the mall that's here. Like there's a new mall. It's called Hanover Crossing Shadow. Anyways, it's like it's still like kind of in construction. Well, I don't know. Like it's not really in construction. It's just like there's still a lot of like empty
vacant apartment things in there for the stores. Yep. So they built the Hanover Crossing, and it's got a good amount of stores in there, but not as many vacant ones. I mean, there's at least, I want to say, maybe 7 or 8 possible stores to fit in more.
But I think the construction of like the buildings themselves, they are done right now. But I remember when they were building that, it was just taking it was taking such a long time to build those.
And bringing back to the pyramid, I'm looking at pictures here, and I'm noticing, I'm noticing they made tunnels in the pyramid. So I wonder how do you just like get a pickaxe and you're just chopping away to get in there and just make your tunnels?
Probably, but I mean, back in their time, it was a lot easier time to like build all that. Whereas like right now, if you were to like go into like the pharaoh, that's what it's called, like the laying thing right there. It's obviously all like decrepit and like super old, and like things have like fallen apart in there, and it's not as easy as it was back then.
Yes.
And they used to bury people in the
tombs.
Pharaohs.
They buried the mummified the kings of that, I believe. And I'm pretty sure in when the pyramid was first made, wasn't it like white and then it was a gold on the top?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, and I'm reminded of Assassin's Creed Origins, where like they was in Egypt and you can actually climb the pyramids, and they were a lighter color. They were like white and they were smoother compared to like right now. And it's funny to think about that because, obviously again back then everything was it was all brand new back then. Now obviously it's not, but it is very interesting. And I think you can also you can go into the pyramids. And,
you have to like make an appointment or something. Make an appointment. Yeah, I would like to make an appointment for the. I want to go into the pharaohs ones. I'd like to see what's in those, if there is any, or unless that's just a big sculpture.
Like I said, I think there's stuff like inside of the giant like pharaoh like statue.
So there is a door to get in there.
I think there is a way to get in there.
Okay.
I don't know how to get in there, but I also remember that I saw this video of some guy climbing one of the pyramids, which I think you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to like climb it at all. No. You can look at it, take pictures of it all you want, but you can't climb it. And this guy is on YouTube. He did a video of him just climbing the pyramid. I mean, it looks easy. Well, I say that, but we actually go there and like it's not. But yeah, man.
Do you have another subject?
So I think okay. So earlier this week, I found out something that I thought It's pretty interesting.
What did you find out?
So so you remember, SpongeBob, right?
Oh, I know SpongeBob. It was one of my favorite childhood shows.
Who doesn't know SpongeBob? At least if you're Gen Alpha. But anyways, yeah, so this particular piece of information that I found out about SpongeBob is the episode called Blackjack. You remember SpongeBob's cousin Blackjack?
Yes. Yeah.
He used to beat him up.
Well, I'm pretty sure at the end of the episode, he was like a really small dude.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that pretty much plays into my thing. So, in the episode of SpongeBob titled Blackjack, when sea sponges don't get enough food, they shrink. And there's a theory as to, like you said, why Blackjack is small when SpongeBob meets him or reunites with him, compared to the flashback at the beginning of the episode where Blackjack was, big and SpongeBob was small.
Yeah.
In the episode, they said that Blackjack got released from prison.
Yeah.
And he was gonna meet SpongeBob and beat him up. The theory as to why Blackjack is so small is because he did not get enough food in prison.
Yeah.
And that's why, prison food is, it's not like he ate food in prison, but it was either not good or just not enough food. He didn't eat enough food, and that's why he's small.
When he ready, SpongeBob, just like old times. Type
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just thought that was a pretty funny
SpongeBob's a
fact.
great show. That show was meant for kids that don't understand the jokes yet, and it's meant for adult hidden jokes. It's hilarious. That show was one of the best kid shows, in my opinion, because in your kid, you're just seeing stupid little moments. You're like, oh, that's funny. As an adult, it's hilarious because of all the things like Patrick does, and
especially now with SpongeBob, that's still ongoing, albeit not as good as, nowhere near as good as the earlier days of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
But it's kind of reverse. Now the jokes are just only made for kids.
Yeah.
Adults can't really enjoy it anymore.
Yeah. No.
It's all super fucking over the top. I mean, SpongeBob, yes, it did have moments back in its early days where it was over the top, but
around season 6 to 7 is where the last parts are good. Then after that, I believe they're not that good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it recently, but I have seen little clips of it, and it's not funny, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's like the face freeze episode, but that's just every episode of SpongeBob.
Yeah,
their faces they have it's way more animated expressions, facial expressions of the characters, and well, yes, that did happen in the early days of SpongeBob. Again, it's now over the top.
I like the when it went really realistic, and for an example, when SpongeBob in one of the episodes was finding out that they made a new movie about Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, and he was like, actors, and they really they had a real person mouth it out, and I was like, oh my god, a realist. But that's what I thought about.
And then when SpongeBob at the end, when they were filming that movie, their Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy movie, when he found out that Patrick had the lens cap on the camera, that whole time,
just
SpongeBob was just crashing out, and he's he was eating worms he grew in the fucking ground. I mean, he's sucking worms.
Yeah, he was going crazy, going AWOL. But I have another subject. Have you noticed the ways that cars have been changing throughout the years? Because
who hasn't?
Exactly. I mean, the first car compared to now, from 1886. You can look it up. 1886 first car. It looks like that.
It's a Lizzie car, or this one's more of a Lizzie car, but this one it's practically the first
It's the first car.
Yeah.
First car ever made. It's on really thin wheels. It looks like bicycle wheels.
Yeah.
Even thinner than that, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
It was definitely meant for one person, I'll tell you that. And then they eventually made it better and better over the years. Mm-hmm. So 2 people, and then they made coaches. They were right, coaches. Yeah. And then they were being pulled by.
People can still drive them to this very day, but
yeah. So they don't have good Wi-Fi at this spot, but I can't show more. But yeah, no. And then the cars now look, we're in a brand new car.
But it certainly has changed, and now we have electric cars,
electric cars.
Charging stations, which I still.
Tesla's pretty new with electric cars, though, isn't it? It's one of the newer.
It's not, and it's not just Tesla. There's some other electric cars, but the electric charging stations, those can only get you so far.
I don't really get that. The electric car is cool and all, like helps the environment or whatever. But
Yeah.
for a gas car, if you're low on gas, you're like, oh, I just fill it up, and then you're back on the road. For an electric car, you gotta wait like 2 hours for you.
Is that how long it takes to charge?
Yeah, I think it's around so.
Oh.
Unless they can make a better way of like just a pulse of electricity to like fill it back, recharge the car immediately, it's not that worth. The only time it's worth is if you don't go out that much and you just charge it at night when you're going to sleep. That's
Also, like, going back to like charging stations, yes, there are charging stations. It's not on the same level as like gas stations. So, like, gas stations, there's a fuck ton of gas stations. Whereas, I mean, electric cars are like sort of like a newish like thing. Like, they became a thing what, like, I want to say like 5 or so years ago, or maybe it's like a little bit.
that's
later
probably
than
around
that.
when Tesla was made, right?
I don't know. I have to do research, but yeah, like electric charging stations, or whatever. Not gas stations. They still gotta, like, I guess, keep making them, because again, it's like a relatively new thing, and like, let's just like say that you're going on the road, going for like a very long drive, but you have an electric car. I feel like you're only gonna find so many like electric charging stations. There's not really a lot of them still. Well, yeah, and yes, they do exist, but like, again, there's just not a lot of them. But yeah, I personally wouldn't have an electric car.
No,
myself.
yeah, it seems like, I mean, they're cool, but I don't know, it's not my style per se. I just rock with the gas until everything gets banned.
Actually, speaking of cars, this actually leads into one of my other next topics.
Okay.
So
Keep in mind, by the way, guys, we don't like make these segues. They just surprisingly happen. We don't talk about our subjects at all. It's just surprising that a couple of our subjects lead into one another. We don't talk about our we make that like a prime thing. Like, we don't tell about our subjects like throughout the week. Yeah. We talk throughout the week, but we don't talk about our subjects throughout the week.
Exactly. So yeah, going on the subject of cars, I went with my dad.
Okay.
It was me and my dad. We went to the vet to get something for my dog, and my dad went in, and I stayed in the car. And then this woman, we were parked next to another car, like on the right side of us, that had like 2 dogs in there. Okay. And I saw this as I was waiting in the car for my dad to get whatever. Some woman comes out of the building, and she gets into the driver's side of the car. She thought that car was her car.
She got in your car?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
More like, what the fuck, you know?
More like, yeah, what the fuck? But like,
that's what I said in my mind. I was like, what the fuck? But I was chill with her, and I mean,
she just stayed in the car.
Well, no, she opened the door, and she was almost about to like, get into the driver's seat, and I was like, and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was my car, which is literally on the right side. And I was like, oh no, you're good. But again, like, I would say that she's lucky that I'm not one of those people like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is my...
Get out of my car!
Yeah. But she didn't sit down. She just opened the door. She was about to sit down, but like... And she poked her head into the car, and then she saw me on my phone. I was like, oh, I just looked over. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was my car. And I was like, no, you're fine. Don't worry about it. And like, it happens. I didn't say that part, but like... in my mind, I was like,
just kidnapped you, man. She could have just got in the car and started driving.
She was a blonde lady, blonde woman too. Yeah. But she was. It kind of threw me off guard a little bit, and I was honestly a little scared, but just a little bit. But
just you getting hello, and like, yeah, we're going somewhere else. And then you just drive away.
Actually, that happened to my dad. It was way before I was born. He told me that when he was like around my age, maybe a little older, he I think he was drunk or something, and he was parked next to a guy that had the same car as him, and you can see what's just going. Like, he thought that the dude's car was his. Or no, wait, I think like he thought that it was his friend or something, and it wasn't. And he was drunk, so he didn't really know any better. And the guy was like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, like, I thought this was my car. And then the guy quite literally told him to, like, get the fuck out of here. And I was like, and he was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. And like, it was
not bad.
He was fucking drunk. He didn't really know any better. But yeah, that happened to my dad, and now like I've had that experience, but I wasn't the one that, you know, mistakenly took my car for like someone else's car. It was some random woman. But maybe that'll happen to like you one of these days, or that could happen to you one of these days. But you just gotta keep that in mind. And have you ever heard of fairy circles? I know Fairly Odd Parents.
Fairy
circles?
Circles? What do you think fairy circles are?
I would honestly say that they're quite literally how they sound. It's like a circle, something to do with a circle, and like somehow to do with fairies. But what are they actually?
You guys at home can look up fairy circles, like a phenomenon. Fairy circles. That's what they look like. What would you? Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, how would you react if you saw that? Other than saying, "What the fuck?"
They look like mini, like craters almost.
Yeah. I can't click on them because the Wi-Fi's not good here, but I can show you.
And they're orange too.
Well, they change around. Like if I was like in a desert like this one is, and I just started seeing these, I'd be like, "Am I gonna be abducted by aliens or something? What's happening here?"
Look like miniature aliens,
yeah.
But like.
Oh, it's kind of reminds me of like Peacemaker, like the moths if they were all in the pods and all that.
Oh yeah, it's been a while since I've seen them, but yeah, I think I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's just I just found that so weird that they were
fairy circles.
Fairy circles. They're just oh yeah. Let me describe them. Sorry, fairy circles. They're circular patterns in deserts, and I think they're formed by like certain air.
I was gonna say, like, does it like? Did an animal like make these?
No, an animal does not.
They just randomly happen.
They just randomly happen. And
I wonder what like desert that is, because like I don't know. I don't think if they're in like the like Death Valley and any of those like deserts like out west, or maybe they are. I don't know. That's interesting.
I wish I had Wi-Fi so I can explain better, but yeah, they just look like a whole slew of like circles around an area, and if you saw them from, you know, driving around, you'd be like, what's happening here? I don't know what's happening.
Fairy circles.
And yeah,
that's really what they're called.
It's pretty.
So how do they? How do they get made?
Yeah, well, I was gonna try to, but I don't have Wi-Fi. I mean, let's see if you can help me out here. But
fairy circles.
There you go. You have Wi-Fi. I don't.
Oh, the pictures that I'm getting, they're in like a. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
they're mostly in like.
But yeah, click
like
the all.
Scroll,
click all.
Oh, we got. Hold on.
There you go.
Circular areas of vegetation, typically in grasslands or lawns, but you're showing more of like in a desert.
Deserts, yeah, they can happen in deserts.
And this looks like, it's like, well, the one that I'm seeing, these are like mushrooms.
Yeah, sometimes
they're showing like in a desert. Let's see, like that.
There's arid ones, and then there's mushroom ones, I guess. Mushroom ones, I feel like they're more fairy related, because don't fairies come from like something mushroom related?
I don't know if I've ever heard of a fairy like in a desert, like, but yeah, that's they're often associated with mushroom growth and are often associated with mushroom growth in folklore, and their formation is believed to be linked to the activity of certain types of fungi. So maybe they're called like fungi circles instead of fairy circles, but that is.
I guess maybe when someone saw it, they're like, "What the fuck? Where are these circles coming from?" Type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
It was pretty weird. That's why
I've never heard that before.
I just figured, like, if you ever encountered such a thing, it's just a weird phenomenon, you know, just one of those weird things.
And like I said, it kind of looks like pictures that you showed. Like they look like a miniature like craters, or like something that like a miniature like alien left behind. But my one of my next topics here, you might get a kick out of this. I don't know if you've heard about what I had to say. Um, Black Panther, right?
What about Black Panther?
Black Panther.
The movie?
Well, just the character of Black
Okay.
Panther in the comics.
Okay.
So earlier this week, it was basically fucking revealed in one like Black Panther comic. Black Panther, he has a son,
Okay.
but it's not, T'Challa fucking Junior like at the end of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Black Panther in a comic, I forget what the comic's called, but it's like a new comic that like came out really like earlier this week.
Alrighty.
It was revealed at the end of that comic that Black Panther's son is white.
He's white. Really?
He has a white son, whereas most people would think that it would be black, but it's not white. And people are saying that Black Panther, Marvel pretty much did the meme that everyone's been saying, like, oh, Ryan Gosling should play Black Panther in the MCU, and that might honestly
Be the
it could
case.
be like a reality in the future. And actually,
Well, I'm pretty sure at the end of Black Panther Wakanda Forever,
Well-
sorry for spoilers, but
yeah.
his son comes in at the end, but he's black.
Yeah.
His son's black,
But-
which is what I expected though.
but
I didn't
here's-
read the comics.
Yeah,
so,
but here's the thing though, like if you talk about the MCU, they got the multiverse, so maybe we could still see like, I don't know, or like a Ryan Reynolds fucking, or not Ryan, what am I talking about? Ryan Gosling, excuse me, Black Panther. But this is the Black Panther that was revealed at the end of the comic.
Oh.
That's Black Panther's son, the white son, blonde hair too.
How did he? Who did he?
Who did
Who did he fuck?
So, I think I have like, I think it has like an explanation, but yeah, I'm just gonna.
Who did he have sex with?
I don't know, but I will say this. Where is it? Damn it. Yeah, so his name is Katema.
Katema.
This guy's Katema.
Does he have the Black Panther suit? Does he have one?
No. So I think he's trying to like, in the comic he was fighting his father to like claim the throne of Wakanda as the new king of Wakanda.
Okay.
And he says like later on, like before this panel, it says the throne of Wakanda is mine, like he says right there. And he has like a mask, so you don't know who it is, and he takes it off to reveal his face. And he says, the comic concludes with Katema removing his mask to reveal himself as a white-skinned man with blonde hair. This troubled many readers as the flashbacks revealed that T'Challa took a black American woman as his wife, and she was pregnant with what was hoped to be a male heir. Most comic, blah blah blah.
But it's just kind of crazy. I mean, it is kind of mind blowing. I just expected, all to be, the same race, but I guess it changed,
Well, yeah, I think like I said, he took a woman who was, I think, already
Pregnant.
with a fucking.
So it wasn't actually T'Challa's son. So it was the
I
mother's.
guess like adopted son.
Yeah.
I think it's adopted son.
Okay.
I have to do my research, but yeah, everyone, at least in like the Marvel community and some like DC fans as well, but mostly people like in the Marvel community, like they took this as a surprise and like why? And some people, like I said, they were, I guess, like mad about that. But here's the thing though, like, fucking, not to like shit on black people, because there are like good black people, but like it's mostly like activist people who they race swap white characters and make them like black or some other like race, like Asian or whatever the hell. But this is the exact opposite of that, and I would argue that it's sort of like a taste of like their own medicine. Like, this is what you've been doing to white characters for like literally decades, like, or at least for a decade, like, because this wasn't a thing like in like, I don't think this was a thing in the 80s or like 70s or like 90s. This is like a more modern thing. But it was revealed earlier this week.
And you found that out.
It just fucking blew my mind and the rest of the Marvel fans' minds. And like I said, hopefully, maybe this could be one step closer to getting Ryan Gosling as Black Panther. It'll have to,
funny.
yeah, it'll have to be through the multiverse in some way, and I don't know if the MCU has the guts to do it. I mean, if they have the guts to do it in the comics, maybe they can do it in live action. I don't know. But
I have a fun little thing to talk. Well, not talk about. Yeah, but whatever. Places that you would want to visit or live.
Places that I want to visit or live. Huh.
I don't know if I brought that up last week. I may have. Sorry if I did, but I'm not remembering.
I think you did.
I would want to go to Italy. Not live in Italy, but I'd want to go to Italy.
You want to go to Italy? Yeah, Italy's a nice place.
Alaska, just for the Northern Lights.
Alaska. One of my cousins lives in Alaska with his wife and children. Yeah.
That's cool.
Haven't really seen him in a while, a long ass time, because.
Yeah. But if you could have a place to live, where would you want to live? Would you still be in the United States, or would it be somewhere else?
I would still live in the United States.
Okay.
But I'd probably live in like, either like Florida or Colorado, mostly because like the majority of my family is in Colorado.
Yep.
And I'd want to like go over there to like, I guess like connect with them more so than I am like right now. But
yeah, I'd probably do Florida as well.
Florida, yeah, I was gonna say like Florida.
Hopefully near like the beach or something.
Yeah.
Always like that. Or I could possibly live in Maine or New Hampshire because of the lake houses.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, Florida, it gets you sort of away from like the mountains. Are there mountains in Florida?
Mountains in New Hampshire. I don't know about Maine.
Yeah, I think there are some mountains in Maine, but yeah, Florida. Yeah, Florida doesn't really have that many mountain places, or like places with mountains. It's all like swamps, some swamps areas, but like, but it's I would rather mostly like not live in a swamp over in Florida. I'd live either near the beach or just like in a typical like, or let's just live in a place where there's like palm trees. I like palm trees.
Palm trees, yeah. It just shows. I like when I was I took a ride to Florida with my grandparents. I don't know if I already mentioned that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I took a ride there, and I noticed as we were driving on the highway, a long time, I started to notice the trees started changing, and then I started seeing less leaves, more like tree.
More like
what is
palm
it called?
trees?
No, well, I saw palm trees near the end of the trip, but bark. I don't know what is. I'm blanking on the term.
So
what's the tree trunk?
Yeah.
More tree trunks than I do see.
So what you're saying is like, so you started your journey. So you drove all the way from
here,
to
Massachusetts,
Florida.
To Florida, yeah.
So for the trees, like you saw, like here in Massachusetts, we obviously have like just regular like looking trees,
Logs.
and like tree logs or whatever.
Logs.
But
more log than
we don't
leaves.
have any palm trees here, unfortunately. But I wonder where you started to like see.
I think it was
trees.
Closer to
like
downwards. I had to look at the map, but
like was it near like
yeah, it was definitely around
like South Carolina or like Georgia, like.
Yeah, I think we went through.
Oh, where did you go? You didn't.
We went around here-ish.
Oh wait.
So maybe Alabama.
Okay. Alabama.
Yeah, I think it was around there.
Where in Florida? Whereabouts in Florida did you go?
I'd rather not say exactly.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
But just Florida.
I feel you. Yeah. How long did it take you? Like 3
It took.
days?
It took
4 days?
3 days. 3 days, I believe. Just
any...
straight driving, and then we had a shitty night at a hotel place. That wasn't good. And then the next night we went to a way better hotel place. That was a lot better. And we had Waffle House. Waffle House. Oh my God, my first time ever going to Waffle House years and years before that. I thought I asked for pancakes and not waffles. Yeah, I was one of those kids. But yeah, no, I got the waffles are really good there. At least I think so.
As someone that's not particularly like a breakfast person, although I feel like I should get back into eating breakfast. As someone that is like not particularly like a breakfast person, Waffle House though, like that's
Have
like
you tried Waffle House?
Yeah, I've been to Waffle House.
Okay.
Again, it's been a long time since I've been there, but like yeah, I just remember it being like pretty
good, yeah.
It's pretty good over there. But yeah, places to live. I mean, yeah, like I said,
Places to
Florida
live,
or
yeah.
Colorado. Yeah, anyways.
Probably say Colorado, just for family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Florida is also like nice too.
Nice and warm.
I'm sort of torn on that, just a little bit.
Okay.
But move.
Do you have another subject?
Actually, yeah. So, did you know about? Well, this is about flamingos.
Flamingos, right? Okay.
Did you know that apparently flamingos, they're not born pink. They are instead, they come into the world with gray and like whitish like feathers.
What the fuck?
Why?
I thought they were just pink.
Well, I think like that's kind of like this, and we're like any other like bird, like a chicken for example. It's coming to my mind. They start off as like yellow. They're like
Yellow.
yellowish.
Yeah, you'd never think.
Chicks is like yellow, and then when they grow up to chickens, their feathers change into
To like
white.
brown.
Well,
Sometimes.
yeah, and sometimes like white and like other colors. But yeah, flamingos are just mostly like.
When
pink.
do they start getting pink? Adolescent.
I would say, yeah, probably like I don't know, when I give them like a couple of years, like I'd say like 3 or 4 years.
I wonder
of
why
life.
they're pink. Why they're pink?
Why they're pink? This
is
is
that-
how nature made them, I guess.
Well, no, they had to evolve to be pink. I mean,
yeah.
what makes does it for other creatures if trying to eat them? Does it make them look toxic or something? Like pink kind of looks like a don't fuck with me kind of color. Maybe.
Well, I don't know if like the color of like flamingos being like pink is like a defense mechanism in a way. Again, like I just think that this is how they are.
I also
But
wonder why
probably
they
other meaning.
why they only use like they lift on one leg. I wonder why that is as well.
Maybe
Should I
for,
look
like,
at what?
balance.
Why do flamingos use one leg? Yeah, try that.
Why do flamingos
I was always
use
wondering
one
why they-
leg? Oh
Yeah.
god. I
Oh
don't
god,
know.
Wi-Fi's being smelly here. Well, I guess we can just make guesses. I think they just try to perfect balance.
Maybe, yeah, because they mostly like stand in the water. Where it's like,
Are they trying to hunt fish? Or maybe they stand still 1 foot in the water just to hunt fish.
and then their other leg like grabs it?
Yeah, I think so. That might be it. I think we just guessed it. We just guessed it, guys. I think we just guessed
Or
it.
we could just be wrong.
Or
but,
we
I
just
mean,
completely
could-
wrong, and it could be a mating thing.
I can honestly like see that though, the way that
The way they
that's
are,
a-
like they have their one leg up and the one standing still, and then they see it and grab it.
that could probably be the reason. But yeah, flamingos being pink, they're not born pink. And
Man, that's pretty weird.
I mean, if like chickens aren't really born like white or brown, and they're just all like yellow, then that same thing could also apply to like flamingos and stuff. But I thought that was a neat little thing, which I didn't know until like right now. But
Well,
I think that's interesting.
I mean, when I was a baby, I'm pretty sure I had blonde hair, and then I got brown hair now.
Same thing with my younger brother. He used to have like light blonde hair, but now he's like, well, I was gonna say dirty blonde, but it's now
Like
it's
brown?
not really as dark as like my hair is, but like
Okay.
it's still brown now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's funny how like that changes over time.
Well, my final subject I talk
final
about. Let's see if I have the Wi-Fi to even show you. But so there is this species called the Sphinx moth caterpillar. What this caterpillar does when it's going to be hunted is it mimics a snake to scare off birds. And it has, if I can play the video to you, that would be awesome. But it looks like I can't. But kind of, the caterpillar kind of aims down and it kind of the tops of it kind of look like an eye on the top of its head, and then its antennas kind of stick out like a tongue to mimic a snake, and it kind of moves back and forth, left and right when birds are next to it, which I find so fascinating. You would never picture. I would never think a caterpillar would evolve to mimic a snake. How do they do that? Do they be hunted by snakes for years just to mimic a snake, and then they just fight off birds like that? Scare off birds, I mean?
Maybe, could be. Do they not change into, like, butterflies?
I don't know. Well, yeah, it's called a sphinx moth caterpillar, so eventually they turn into a moth.
Yeah, moths also, like, they have, like, this, like, design on, like, their wings.
Yes,
right?
they're more gray and brown to blend in at night, while butterflies are very colorful to show toxic, so bugs don't eat them.
That reminds me of my mom's friend. She like found this like moth that was fucking. It was pretty big. It was bigger than your
moth,
bigger than your average like small little moth. It was fucking
moth.
like huge. I want to say it was like the size of like my hand almost.
Oh my god!
And it was like just sitting on like a fucking window, and like its wings were like spread out, covering like the window, and it was fucking the wingspan was pretty big, and like and I was just like, if I saw that in my house, like it's the moth's house at that point. But I ain't fucking with that. But that the sphinx, what is it called?
The sphinx moth caterpillar.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. So like, yeah, it's meant to look like a snake. Can I see the picture again?
Yeah. It's green. It's got
So those its actual eyes right there? Or?
No, those are not its eyes. That's just the color pattern on their back.
That's just made to look like.
Yeah, that head is that little orange part in the front of their head, and that little sticks out their antennas and makes it look like a snake tongue, and it wiggles. And it has a pheromone. I just remembered it has a pheromone that it spits out to, like, I don't know, just scare off, just to have like a snake scent or something.
To make it like look like it's like snake venom like coming out or something.
Yes, and just to scare off the bird, because in the video I had here, it shows the bird pulling up to it, and it does that's a little action to scare the bird off. It's like, okay, I don't want to mess with you. I'm out of here.
Try playing it.
It doesn't play. I don't have. I
thought it would work, but that's unfortunate. I had to look that. I might look that up actually later today, but
yeah, that's my final subject.
I think my
what's the time here?
We're at 42 minutes.
42 minutes.
42 minutes 50 seconds. But my I guess like final topic is apparently someone left a family photo on the moon.
A family photo? Someone left a family photo on the moon. Which astronaut crew did that?
So it says when Apollo 16 astronaut Charles Duke landed on the moon in 1972. First of all, I've never even heard of Charles Duke. I've always just heard of, Buzz Aldrin and, fucking the other guy, Neil, what is it?
Amelia Armstrong? No,
Amelia Armstrong. God damn.
Didn't she crash the plane?
That was Amelia Armstrong. No, that was, she flew a plane. What was her?
Neil Armstrong? Is that
Neil
what it
Armstrong
is?
And,
Neil Armstrong, not Amelia. Oh, no, that's Amelia Earhart. I'm thinking of Amelia.
Why did we say, Amelia Armstrong?
I don't know what we were talking about. Yeah, I was thinking of Amelia Earhart for some weird reason.
Amelia Earhart.
She got lost in the Bermuda Triangle or something. But
Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong.
Those
are, I think, the two people that landed on the moon. But apparently, this guy. So when Apollo 16 astronaut Charles Duke landed on the moon in 1972, he decided to leave behind a photo of him, his two sons, and his wife. The photo remains on the moon to this day.
Did he just put it under a rock or something?
Maybe. Well,
probably. Got not a lot of gravity there, so I'd assume the rock will hold it.
Yeah. I wonder if he left it by the American flag that's on the moon.
Maybe.
But, okay, which, honestly...
I'd like to see Earth like that. I'd like to be on the moon and look at Earth. And to get my own picture of Earth. Even though it probably looks like every other picture of Earth. I just want my own. I want a picture of me in the spacesuit giving, a thumbs up or something at Earth. Just do a selfie like that.
Do you think this isn't really my next topic, but do you think that the moon landing was fake at all?
No, I think it was real.
No. Yeah. A lot of people do think that the moon.
I mean, sure, you can pinpoint evidence all you want.
Yeah.
But I feel like it gets to a point where it's like, okay, it's you're on the moon. I mean, I could believe they faked it. Show me enough evidence to prove it. I like to
or maybe
see all possibilities.
Yeah, maybe the moon. I think I've heard people say that the moon landing was like partially fake. Yes, they like launched a rocket into space.
Yep.
And that was real, but then, well, I guess
you think it crashed in the water and
maybe it's kind of reminded me of what happened sort of recently with Katy Perry, right? Where her and a bunch of other women, they like went up to space.
Not like barely into space.
Yeah, they went barely.
And they're like, oh my god! And then they came down and like, I changed. Didn't Katy Perry kiss the ground?
He did.
I was like, really?
I was like,
I wouldn't kiss the ground. I'd be like, I want to go back up again.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And people were joking about like how, they went into space once doesn't mean that they're actually astronauts. They're not in like the International Space Station, which I really want to go into the International Space Station, just float around in the fucking thing. But
to be honest, I don't know if I'd be able to handle the spinning.
I probably won't either. And like you have to like
You
go
train
through.
for
You
that.
have to like sit down in like the little testing thing, right? You got to spin
Oh,
around,
God.
feel like the G forces. Like, oh, that would suck.
No, I'm not really worried about like the G-force. I'm more worried about getting dizzy and throwing up. That's what I would worry about. And just
And
feel
people
the
do
G-force. And you've seen videos of people testing the G-force and their faces going down like
Faces like suck. Yeah.
kind of look old, and then they like turn it off. Or some people just pass out. They're just gone.
Or they do also. They do throw up, some of them. But they pass out.
But that's the one like bad thing. If you wanted to ever like just see the moon, like go to the moon, you gotta power through that and do the training and just.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually it'd be worth it. It'd be a very rare experience to.
Because like
have.
people, they've said that they want to try to make like space travel like a thing for like people like you and me and just like regular people in general instead of like just astronauts. So like, and it like reminds me of the movie what is it called, Ad Astra or something, where like they had a space station, or they had like a space station like on the moon, but it's not like a space station. It's like a space like train station where like you stop here, and then it connects to like a different place, like and they have another one on like Mars or something.
That movie was a little weird though. Ad Astra.
Yeah, but it's fiction, so anything can happen. But and they have like the Range Rovers. They can like drive around on the moon.
One of my favorite space movies is The Martian and Interstellar. Those are two really good movies. Like
If you were to choose which one, would you pick? Probably The Martian.
Interstellar is very more spacey than The Martian, but I like The Martian just a little more because it's more realistic.
Yeah. It's also, Interstellar is also a bit more like artsy, like, I'd say it's trying to like, I think that movie was trying to like, the main reason why they made it was so that it could get an Oscar for like great acting, like great story and like.
Don't get me wrong, Interstellar's amazing.
It really
is amazing.
But so is The Martian.
The Martian, yeah. The man on Mars, the only man on Mars, and just how does he survive?
It's more of like a simpler story compared to like Interstellar, where they go into all these different planets, and then eventually into a black hole that brings them back in time. And like, it's just
the
like
fifth dimension or whatever.
Yeah, I think, or was it the fourth
dimension
or fifth dimension, but whatever.
And there's
those
so
two
many
are
things.
great space movies. There's another one, I forget. Oh, this isn't the one I'm thinking, but Passengers also is a
Passengers, yeah, that's
space movie.
the journey of the ship going to an habitable planet.
Yeah.
That was Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jennifer Lawrence.
And yeah, that movie was pretty good. That goddamn robot, but screwed up Chris Pratt there. But that movie was good. I liked it. Nice story. But I'm not gonna spoil the movie, but
All
things
these are
happen.
All these are great movies. You guys should go check them
Definitely
out.
check those movies out. Those are
But
amazing movies.
yeah, Charles Duke leaving a photo on the moon. If you let me ask you, if you were to
You
leave,
think the moon's made of cheese?
I don't think so. That's just.
Could you eat a moon
shit
rock?
You could if you really wanted to, but like it would. I don't know how. I feel like it would just be like eating any other rock on Earth, because the moon was a part of Earth. It was a part of Earth.
Maybe it could have been.
I think it was because like, since the dawn of time, like
the dawn of time,
the early, very like billions of years ago, the moon was a part of the Earth, and then it was something like happened.
A meteor cracked into it.
And like it
So
propelled the moon.
So then how is the Earth still like so round and the moon is so round? So it kind of looks like it could have just been over time that it just started condensing into a circle.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's space is weird.
It really is.
There's no explanation.
Actually, like I saw a theory about, well, it's not really a confirmed theory, but it's like a fan theory that the moon might not actually be round, and like space, like it's
bends.
It's like, yeah, it's not like, it's not set as of like the Earth. It's, I don't really know how to explain it. Like
space is a donut.
No, it's like the way space works. It like bends. It's not like finite. I'd have to look at the theory again, but people, they are flat earthers and round
Flat
earthers.
earthers are flat earthers. They're also flat brainers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but the Earth is round. You can't change my mind.
Yeah,
So,
they might not. Yeah, it might actually not be round. But then I remember the video that you were telling me about of the. Were you sending me this video of these guys testing out the experiment?
yeah, and it went wrong.
They were flat earthers themselves, and they were testing to see if the light that was going to shine and hit the thing, but it actually like.
It didn't go through the circle.
No, it didn't. It like
They were trying to
down.
prove it was flat, so the light could go through the other side of the circle on each wall from miles and miles away to the next wall, and they proved themselves wrong.
And I just remember them sitting there like, damn it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, what are we at for time?
we are like 52 minutes.
52 minutes. I mean, that's
call it
long enough. That's like every other episode. Last episode was a little shorter, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, we're gonna try to stick around 50 minutes or longer, which is kind of
a little bit longer, yeah.
we do. But yeah, want to wrap this up?
Let's
Alrighty.
wrap it up,
Well, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. We upload every Saturday, so make sure you tune in every Saturday.
Thank you guys. Bye bye.
See you later.